Hello from Oban on the west coast of Scotland. This is a popular place to come to catch ferries because from here you can catch ferries to many different Scottish islands, and today that's exactly what I'll be doing. I'm heading to a Scottish island to spend the weekend in a cosy and cute little cottage. I am so excited. Let's go. We're getting ready to go onto the ferry now, and it looks a different size of ferry. I've never been on one that is this shape or size before. The ferry from Oban to the Isle of Mull takes around 1 hour and cost me £20.25 for a one-way ticket with one passenger and my campervan. As we approached Mull, it was very cloudy and it felt very atmospheric. I have arrived on a very rainy and misty Isle of Mull. It's around a 16-minute drive from Craignure ferry terminal to the cottage. Let's get off the ferry. I have now arrived at the location of the cottage. The drive down was so beautiful. I believe it was around 3 miles. The views were absolutely incredible, and I even passed some Highland cows, so I need to go back and see them closer up at some point over the next few days. I've parked up outside the cottage. I can't get directly up to the cottage, only 4-wheel drive vehicles can get there, but it looks so cute and I'm so excited to see inside. Okay, so I've turned on some of the lights. It is really toasty in here. The heating is already on, and the check-in time is usually 5 o'clock, but I think there was no one staying. I said that I was coming in around 1 o'clock and would it be possible to check in around then, and they said no problem. So that's great that I managed to get in before it gets dark, because it's getting dark around 3:30 p.m. at the moment in December. So when I booked this cottage, there are a few photos online, but it is so much better than the photos. It is just amazing, amazing. Okay, are you ready to see the cottage? As you come in from the porch, this here is a lovely double bed there. And then over here is a table. Wow, you can sit here and look out at these lovely views. That is stunning. The view over to that side is pretty nice as well. On the table here, there is a welcome note. Very warm welcome to Archie's cottage. And what's this? Oh, a lovely bottle of Prosecco. Oh, there's a guest book from other people who have stayed here. That'll be nice to read. It's always good to read this because you can get tips from people about places to go and eat or walks to do. And then here is information about the cottage, rules, regulations, rubbish and recycling, things to do, walks, day trips, nearby islands. Beside the table are some chairs and a fire, a log burner, my favourite. And it looks like there's a few pieces of kindling there to get the fire started, and also some logs. Lots of books here, and there's some jigsaws down the bottom as well. On either side of the bed there are some doors. So this side is the kitchen. Let's go in and have a look. This is the kitchen. It's quite a small space, but there's quite a lot of things in here. So there is a fridge freezer, there's a microwave, there is an oven and a hob. There is even a washing machine on this side, and then there's lots of pots and pans, plates, bowls. There's even wine glasses. Oh, there's lots of cutlery, toaster, kettle. Oh, fantastic. There are some cafetières up there. A few herbs, salt. Oh, maybe I'll have a boiled egg. Glasses, mugs, there's plates. Oh, they're a cute size. And here are some knives on the side as well. What's inside here? Lots of other things you might need. A grater, a colander, a measuring jug, ice trays, and some frying pans. I just noticed actually above the fire there is the pulley there, so That's very useful for drying clothes. I've only ever seen these in Scotland. Does anyone else have these in their country? Is it a Scottish thing, or do other places do this as well? Drying the clothes above the heaters or the fire on a pulley. Here is the bathroom. So you need to bring your own towels, but they do provide some bath mats. And there's a toilet, there is a sink, and then a bath. At least there is this shower here. So if anyone remembers when I stayed on the cottage on the Isle of Mull, there was a plastic contraption that you had to attach to the bath in order to have a shower and wash your hair, but this looks much better. I've brought in some bags of food from the van. I don't really plan to do that much driving while I'm here. I really want to enjoy the cottage and spend time here. So I did some shopping before I came. It's around a 40 or 45 minute drive to get to Tobermory, which is the biggest town on the Isle of Mull, and it has a supermarket. So I have 2 bags of food I brought with me, and I'll bring them into the kitchen and unpack them and show you what I brought. So I will quickly show you everything that I brought with me, and it probably looks like so much food, but I will eat a lot of this during my time in the van on a trip after this. So have here some yogurt, cottage cheese, tomatoes, some rye bread, have some eggs, some chutney. I have a lot of cheese. I'm planning to make a few things with cheese, and I also want to do a cheese board. And then I have a pizza. I have some fruits, so apples and bananas, some onions, mushrooms, and to make some orzo some night. I have an avocado, cucumber. I plan to make sushi one night, so I have some nori. I have a bottle of wine, German Riesling. That's one of my favourite wines recently. Not the specific bottle, but I've been enjoying German Riesling wines. My friend from Germany introduced me to that. And then I have some basil, coffee, kale, some grapes, and also my favourite Beam Dream. I've always enjoyed having a nice warm drink before bed, especially in the winter months. However, I've found that a lot of these drinks include artificial flavours and sugars. At the start of this year, I started drinking Beam's Dream Powder, and it not only tastes fantastic, it also helps me have a better night of sleep. It's low calorie, sugar and gluten free, has no artificial flavours, it's vegan and keto friendly, and it can be made with either hot water or milk. I love making mine with oat milk. It's so creamy and so good. I've tried a few of the different flavours, but my 2 favourites are the vanilla chai and the chocolate peanut butter. This one tastes like a warm, creamy hot chocolate, but has additional ingredients in there like magnesium and reishi, which contribute to a better night of sleep. I find that when I drink Dream, I fall asleep easier, I stay asleep, and if I do happen to wake up, which sometimes happens in the van with noise or passing vehicles, I find it much easier to fall back asleep as well. If you'd like to set yourself up to be the healthiest version of yourself in 2025, I have some great news, as Beam are offering 40% off site-wide. All you need to do is click the link below or scan the QR code on screen and enter the code RuthAshling at checkout. This offer is only available for a limited time. Thank you so much to Beam for making it possible to film this video here today. It's feeling a little bit cold now, and I'm going to light the fire. I just went outside. It is pouring with rain out there now, and I got some newspaper and cardboard that I brought with me for the fire. And I didn't expect there to be that many logs here, to be honest, because when I read the terms and conditions and instructions of the holiday cottage, it said that logs cost £80 to be delivered, and they'll leave a few or enough for you to get started. But there's actually more than enough here. So I'm planning to stay in the cottage for 3 nights, and there's a whole basket here, and then there's another basket in the porch as well. It's really getting quite chilly now, so I'm looking forward to getting the fire lit. Wow, the fire is looking amazing, but I'm not sure how to turn the air down. I've closed the door fully. I also closed this here on the top. It's always a learning process using a different type of stove. I can already feel the warmth from the log burner radiating off onto my face. I love log burners so much. I booked this cottage after seeing it on Instagram. So I follow an Instagram page called Island Cottages or something like that, and I saw a picture that they posted of the exterior of this cottage and I thought it looked so nice. So I went onto the website to find out more information, and there were a few pictures of the inside. So I sent them an email and inquired about booking. And usually in the summer season they only accept bookings for a week, and I think I could happily stay here for a week. But in the winter they do accept shorter bookings, and it's obviously cheaper to book for less nights. Time for a glass of wine beside the fire. I'm going to sit here and read this book. So my mum actually got this for my birthday present, so that was really nice. She actually got me two books, this one and this one. So this is actually an international bestseller from Japan. It's called Butter. It was translated into English, so I'm looking forward to reading that. And this is 28 of Scotland's best bothy walks. So a lot of the time you can find the location of a bothy maybe online, but it's not very clear how to actually get to the bothy, and this basically tells you where to go and park your car, where to start the walk, how long the walk takes, and things like that. So there's actually a bothy on the Isle of Mull, so I'm going to read a little bit about the walk to that one. Now it is time to cook some dinner. So I enjoyed one glass of wine. That German Riesling was lovely. That was about £6 or £7 from Lidl. The Michelsberg Riesling. Very nice, a little bit sweet. So tonight I'm going to make some sushi. So I really enjoy making sushi, and I'm going to put avocado and cucumber inside. And I also have this baking camembert with a red onion relish, and I've never cooked one of these at home before or by myself before. I've only ever had it in a restaurant, so I'm not really sure what to do. Remove the packaging before cooking. Preheat the oven to 190. Unwrap the camembert and place in the wooden dish. Oh, there's the relish. So I don't usually eat that much cheese. I feel like having a cheese board and enjoying cheese is a really luxurious thing to do. I really enjoy it. So because it's my birthday celebration, that's why I have so much cheese. It sounds like you put that in the oven, like that, in the paper. Make a 5 centimetre cross across the camembert. Place on a baking tray and cook for 20 minutes. Okay, and then after you put the relish on. Oh, and then you put it in for another 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm also going to make sushi. I have this sushi nori, and I find it so important if you buy nori to make sure it has the resealable thing here, because if you buy the ones without it and you don't use all the sheets, this goes stale really quickly. But I've had this for about a month already, and there's 50 sheets of nori inside, and it's still really crispy and really fresh. I also have my sushi rolling mat. I have the sushi rice. This here is the sushi vinegar. So this is a Japanese brand, but you can just get normal sushi vinegar or rice vinegar and use that instead. I also have soy sauce, and that's for dipping the sushi in, and then inside I'm going to do cucumber and avocado. Of course you can put whatever you like inside, but this is my favorite combination for sushi. So first I'm going to do the rice, a cup of rice and a cup of water. With the sushi rice, there really is a technique. So you boil it at a high temperature until the bubbles reach the top, and it's very useful to do it with a glass lid so that you can see the bubbles. and then you turn it down as soon as the bubbles reach the top, and then let it continue cooking. And unfortunately, I had a problem with the oven, so I opened it to check how it was cooking, and it was completely cold. So I had chosen this setting, and I think maybe that's just a fan, but then I put it onto this one now, and it's starting to warm up. So the sushi rice, I let it sit for 10 minutes after cooking, and then I put it into this bowl to cool it down, and it's started to cool down. It's cooked perfectly, and I've just taken this out of the oven. So while it was cooking, it started to leak, so I put it into this dish, and that looks so good. Look at that. Wow. I've prepared some breads here to go with it. It's getting pretty warm in here now with the fire. So the starter is served. So this is the baked camembert with red onion relish. I have the rye bread. I think that's also maybe a German bread. And then I have Ryvita crackers. So let's give this a go. Oh, it looks so good. Oh my gosh. That is yummy. Bandaged up. I've forgotten where to put the fillings. I think you put them at this end. Oh, it's like this. I was doing it the wrong way. It's better. One of my favourite things about making sushi is the ends. So at the ends of the roll, you have these ones that unfortunately look a little bit ugly. They're not as presentable as the other lovely sliced pieces of sushi, but I always enjoy snacking on them when I'm cooking the sushi. So let's make sure this guy doesn't feel left out. I'm going to sit by the fire, enjoy the sushi. I don't have any chopsticks. Only a fork. If anyone from Japan is watching, gomenasai. Okay. So good. Sushi is one of my favourite foods. So yummy. I think it would be good to have a selection of colours on the plate because it all looks quite boring because it's green cucumber and green avocado. If there was red pepper or other colours, it would be a bit more exciting, I think, but it still tastes great. I had a really nice bath to warm up, but when it came to washing my hair, there was no hot water left, so I had to use cold water to wash my hair, but it's woken me up, but I'm a bit cold. So next I'm going to light the fire. I don't know if you can hear the gusts of wind. Can you hear that? It's so windy, I checked, and the wind speeds are 45 miles per hour today. Put my hat it on until it warms up in here a little bit. I'm going to make some coffee and some breakfast now. I don't know if you noticed the colour of the bath water, so it mentions in the book about the house that the water comes from a spring and it's sometimes tainted with the colour of peat, but it's all filtered and it's completely safe to drink and use, but that's why it has that discoloration. This looks so good. Breakfast was so nice. I've recently started having a lot of cottage cheese and I'd never really eaten it before until about 2 or 3 months ago when I tried it for the first time, and it is my new favourite food. I cannot stop eating it, and it's really nice on bread instead of butter, and then with poached eggs or fried eggs on top. So good. Would like to go for a walk, but I feel like it's just too windy. I might go out and have a look, but I was reading in the visitors book and I saw a few quite interesting comments. So people had written that from the windows of the cottage, so they weren't even outside, they were in the cottage, they saw otters outside. Someone saw seals, someone saw dolphins, people saw deer and sea eagles, all from inside the cottage. So that is incredible. So I'm keeping my eye out and looking for otters, but it's very choppy in the sea, so maybe it's a bit choppy for otters. Another thing I saw in the visitors book was a few comments about there not being a TV in here, and I didn't even realise there wasn't a TV until I saw those comments in the visitors book. To be honest, I don't watch TV. I haven't watched or used a TV for probably about 10 years. Also in the visitors book, I came across a very interesting comment from maybe 2 or 3 different people, and they mentioned that nearby here, around a 10-minute drive, there is an honesty box, and what is in the honesty box is really interesting because I have never come across this in an honesty box before. It is mussels. So you can go there and buy fresh mussels and then bring them home and then cook them. I'm going to finish my coffee and then maybe go outside. I was reading that there's actually a storm right now. This is considered a storm and it's called Storm Dara, and they have issued yellow warnings. So it's not a red warning or an amber warning, which are stronger, but it's a storm. I totally didn't realise. It's really lucky that I came yesterday because maybe the ferry would have been cancelled today. First, going to have a little walk around the cottage. I want to see the views from outside. And then, if it's not too windy, then I might head to the mussel honesty box. But I don't know if I want to drive in this wind. Okay. This keeps me so warm. I cannot believe how windy it is. Come behind the cottage and it's much more sheltered here and the views are really nice. It is so choppy out in the sea. It's nice to be in the fresh air though. It is very refreshing. Tomorrow the weather looks so much better. The wind is meant to die down and there's also sun forecast. So I think tomorrow might be a better day for doing a walk along by the sea. I don't really want to walk so close to the sea and the rocks when the weather's like this. It could be a bit dangerous. My fingertips are so cold. Oh my goodness, the wind. That view is incredible with the snowy mountains. So I've been contemplating what to do, and at some points when I was outside I could hardly even stand up. I almost got blown over and blown off the side of the rocks. So I don't want to drive. I need to reverse the van a little bit to turn it, and I'm just not really thinking that it'll be great in this weather. The drive is also 14 minutes, so it's going to be around 30 minutes total of driving, and yeah, I think it's not a good idea. I've got plenty of food here. I'm going to get the house nice and cozy with the fire and just enjoy being in the house today, and then tomorrow hopefully get to the mussels honesty box. So I have set up the laptop now. I'm going to do an hour or two of things on the computer. So I've just been replying to some comments on Patreon. So on Patreon, I'm usually posting longer versions of all my YouTube videos. If you're interested, the link for that is in the video description. And I have here a cheese board that I made. So I have brie and also Gouda. I think that's maybe a Dutch cheese, and I'll snack on this. Oh, it looks so yummy. And then you can see the views out the window. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at the hills in the distance there. Oh, that is incredible. Such a good view to look out at when you're doing some things on the laptop. Look at that. Already started to get quite dark outside, and today has absolutely flown by. And something I forgot to share this morning, or maybe I just chose not to share, the fact that I woke up at 10:30 a.m. I didn't set an alarm, and it was the sound of the wind that actually woke me up. I slept so well, oh my goodness. I think that's one of the best nights of sleep I've had in such a long time. This bed, so comfortable and so cozy. I'm going to actually head outside and get the Starlink internet. There's something I need to do, so I will set it up behind the cottage and hopefully it doesn't blow away. I think later on tonight the wind speeds are due to die down around 8 p.m. The wind will die down to around 20 miles per hour, so it's currently around 45 miles per hour. So I think that's the end of the storm passing this way. I put the Starlink outside the window there. Can you see it? There is the Starlink. So I'll power it up through the bathroom window and see if it works. The Starlink has changed position. We are in business. High-speed internet is now available. It's so sheltered behind the cottage. I think it'll be fine here. If not, in the morning it might be gone, floating around in the sea due to the high winds. Back in the kitchen. So I've done a few hours of work with the high-speed internet. Now I'm going to make some dinner. It probably seems like all I'm doing is eating, but I had that cheese probably about 4 hours ago. I just haven't been filming anything. So I'm going to make a tomato, mozzarella and basil salad with balsamic and olive oil to start with. And then I have got a pizza for my main course. The basil, tomato and mozzarella salad with balsamic and olive oil is ready. There's quite a lot of basil on there. I think I overestimated the amount of basil, but it looks really yummy. Okay, bon appetit. The pizza is also ready. I think I maybe cooked it 1 or 2 minutes too much, but it still looks really, really good. The water's a little brown looking. I think actually I'm going to sit in front of the fire and eat the pizza. This pizza is kind of average I got it from Lidl. It looks better on the box. The picture looks better than the taste. Maybe some fresh basil would be good on it. I came outside to get some shots of the sunrise, and there is an otter. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. They are real after all. I've been looking for otters for about a year and a half and I've never seen one, and it was on the rocks and then it jumped into the water and it's swimming around. I'll try and get it on camera to show you. The weather this morning is much calmer. I'm going to head out this morning to the mussel honesty box. I don't have high hopes because it is December, it is winter and it is Sunday, so today is probably the most unlikely day that there would be mussels in there, but I'm going to go anyway and have a little look. I was just leaving to go to the mussel farm and I reversed back, but unfortunately I just missed the edge of the harder ground and went into the side, and the van is unfortunately stuck and the wheels are just spinning when I try and move the van. I went to see the owner of this cottage. He's staying in the farmhouse at the moment and he's so lovely, and he came over to help and tied on a rope to help me get out, and then went to start his truck, but unfortunately the battery is flat in his truck, so both of us are broken down. So there's someone coming to help us get him started, and then after that he'll be able to help pull me out. Oh my goodness. I am out of the grass. Wow, it wasn't actually that difficult to pull me out, but oh wow, what a palaver. Okay, now it's time to head to the mussel farm. As I'm driving, the Highland cows are right there beside the car. I made it to the mussel farm. It was around a 14-minute drive from the accommodation, and it's right beside the sea, but at the office it says to go actually down to the area at the water, and then you can buy the mussels there.
Very good friends with Santa Claus.
Okay, I got the mussels. £2.50 for mussels. Thank goodness I've got a fridge, so I'll put them inside the fridge here in my van, but it might be a bit smelly. Oh yeah, maybe I'll put them in a plastic bag. Now that I have the mussels, I'm actually going to head to the local village to pick up some more ingredients to cook the mussels with, so I'll head there next. I've arrived now in the village of Craignure, and there is a convenience store here, and I was just reading the reviews for the convenience store, and I don't think I've read such bad reviews about a place ever. One of the reviews says, "The staff's demeanour is truly what takes the cake. You'd think they were auditioning for roles as grumpy goblins in some fantasy film. Politeness and hospitality are clearly foreign concepts to them. If you dare ask a question or request assistance, prepare to receive a cold stare that could freeze a volcano." Oh my goodness, I'm quite nervous to go inside actually, and that is not the only bad review about this place. I wonder why it's got such bad reviews. Anyway, I'm planning to just buy one or two things in order to cook the mussels, so let's go in. I got everything I needed from the shop. I actually got a bottle of wine because the man at the mussel farm, he said that his favourite way to cook mussels is with wine and garlic, and I only have about this much wine left in the bottle, so it's not enough for cooking the mussels, so I got one more, and it was actually fine inside the shop. I don't know why there are so many bad reviews, so sometimes maybe the reviews are not a good representation of the reality. Maybe it just depends on the day or who's working. So I'm going to head back now to the cottage. On the road back to the cottage, there are some walks you can do, and I've decided to do one of them before it gets dark. I've parked up here at the car park for a viewpoint. I'll go and check that out, and then I'm going to head on to a secret beach. In the winter, there really can be two sides to winter. So this trip has been a good example of that. So yesterday, the crazy winds, the storms, the rain, and then today, the beautiful blue skies, the hills dusted in snow. It's absolutely beautiful. Even though there is that unpredictability with the winter, I still think winter's a really nice time to travel in Scotland. Places are very quiet, but you can be very lucky with the weather and you can get days like this. It's absolutely beautiful. That view behind me is out of this world. So the cottage is there that I'm staying in. It looks so cute. And then behind there are all the hills with the snow. And I believe that is the Morven Peninsula over there. It's quite hilly actually. And that's quite close to the Ardnamurchan Peninsula. The Morven Peninsula seems to be a lesser visited part of Scotland. I am interested to travel there at some point, but I don't know anyone that's been actually, but I saw some comments from some of you guys recommending it. Maybe that'll be a future trip. I've been walking for around 30 minutes probably from the other viewpoint, and I have reached the point where the beach has now come into view. It is so peaceful and so quiet. There's not a single other person here. Wow. Wow, this beach is incredible. Look at the views over there. The snowy hills. I wonder if that is Ben Nevis. Probably not. I made it back to the cottage with my mussels, and the sun started to go down and the sky turned an incredible colour. I have made it back to the house and I lit the fire. Now I'm going to make the mussels. So I found a really delicious looking recipe of how to cook mussels online, and this is my first ever time cooking mussels. I've only ever eaten them in a restaurant. So this one has onion, garlic and tomato, but I'm not sure if I should rinse the mussels first or if they've already been rinsed. So I'm going to just do it in case there's some sand or anything. So I'll put the mussels into the colander, give them a rinse, and then hopefully they'll be fine. It's so amazing that there's a mussels honesty box. If you were staying here, would you go and buy the mussels as well? I think it's a really nice thing to do. Wow. I just googled about it and it says mussels must be alive to ensure their freshness, and their shells should be closed to make sure they are alive. If they are open, they should close when tapped or squeezed. Other indications of freshness: they should smell pleasantly of the sea, no fishy smell. That's good, okay, there's no fishy smell. To prepare the mussels for cooking, rinse them under cold water, tossing them over with your hands to give any that may have opened a chance to close. Scrub away any barnacles if you want. One by one, pinch and tug away the stringy thread from the side of the shell known as the beard. If the mussels are open, give them a squeeze and discard any that remain open or have a broken shell. Oh my goodness, so interesting. I wouldn't have known to do that. So, okay, let's do that first. I have washed all the mussels and they're all closed. So I've trimmed off the beards as well. You can see some of the beards in there. And then these were the broken ones. So there's hardly any broken ones or cracked ones. They're pretty much all edible. And I noticed that Up on the shelf here there is a huge massive pot on the left, so I'm going to use that for cooking the mussels. Time to add the mussels now. I don't think these are all going to fit in here. Stir them to coat in the sauce. I think I've put way too many in. Okay, I just looked back through the camera footage from earlier. This is 2 kilograms of mussels. So I'm going to take some out. I'm going to remove about half. Hopefully it'll be okay. Oh, what a twit! I don't know why I didn't check how many kilos I bought. I decided to cook one more because it's going to be impossible to reuse the sauce. So we're having 2 batches of mussels. I am going to never want to eat mussels again after this evening probably. Okay, I think these are almost ready as well. Okay, I think they're ready. So here are the finished mussels. I'm going to taste one, see how they taste, and it said you can add salt and pepper if you want to add more flavour or even a wedge of lime. So I made a cheese board as well, but it's time to try some of the mussels. Mussels for starter and mussels for main course. I'm not having any bread with them because I'll end up getting too full. Let's try one of the mussels. Wow, really nice with the garlic. It's really fun to cook them yourself. There's so many different ways that you could eat mussels. So with curry, with whiskey sauce. I'll need to try them again another time with a different recipe. I have finished all the mussels. Oh my goodness. There were so many. I think it was like enough to feed 4 people. I don't think I want to eat mussels again for a really long time, but they were very good. I did enjoy them, and it was such a nice thing to do to eat local mussels that I bought today from just down the road. Okay, now it's time to clean these up. I have had the best 3 nights here. I so wish I was staying for a week. I am 100% coming back here again and booking an entire week. It is the perfect place to come if you just want to relax, get away from it all, be surrounded by the sea, by nature. It is wonderful. I think it's my favourite place that I have ever stayed in Scotland. I was speaking to the owner today and he said that there's no one coming and I could extend for 7 days if I wanted to, but I need to go. I have other plans, but I so wish I could extend it. But I want to come back again, and I really enjoy this size of island because when I spent a week on the Isle of Mull, after a few days I think I did start to feel a bit lonely. That size of island is maybe a bit too small for me. I like the fact that on this island I can bring the van, I can go to different places, I can go to a shop, and I could spend a whole week doing so many different things on the Isle of Mull. And I know in this video I haven't really explored the Isle of Mull that much, but I do plan to come back and make a longer video here at some point, maybe next year when things are more open for the season. I want to spend about a week on the island, travelling around in my camper van, going to all the different parts of Mull and really explore it properly before I make a video specifically about the Isle of Mull. If you'd like to see a video about the Isle of Mull, please let me know. I am very interested to come back. I've really enjoyed it and my first impressions here have been great. It is almost the new year and every year I write goals for myself. I started doing this in around 2017 and they're not really New Year's resolutions as such. They're more goals that I want to achieve. So I make the goals in a way like that I used to set goals when I worked for a company, and we used to set these goals called SMART goals, and I can't remember what it stands for. Maybe strategic, measurable, actionable, realistic. I have no idea, but I like to set these goals that are measurable. So for example, some of the goals in the past have been pass the Japanese language proficiency test level 5 or level 4. So then I set that goal, and then I set a weekly goal for myself. So every week take a 1-hour Japanese lesson. Or if I set a goal in terms of something else, I set then weekly goals to try and achieve it. So it breaks it down into smaller chunk sizes. So I wanted to get my fitness better this year, so I made a goal to try and go to 2 CrossFit classes every week when I can, and things like that. So I have had a look at my goals for this year. I have not managed to achieve everything, but I'd say maybe, actually I think I've maybe achieved 90% of the goals that I set for this. So I don't want to share all of them exactly, but one of them was to be able to run 5 kilometers without any struggles. So I managed to do that. One of the goals was to reach 100,000 on YouTube, and I managed to do that in July. So that was really exciting. And yeah, a few other things. I wanted to launch a group trip this year, so I managed to do that. So I've managed to achieve quite a few of the goals, and I remember when I wrote those goals, I thought that they were huge, and I maybe thought I couldn't have achieved them, but it's thanks to all of you that I have been able to achieve some of these goals. So thank you so much for the people who booked onto the group trip that I plan to host next year. I appreciate everyone that booked, and I'm so excited for that. And also all of you who have watched the videos and subscribed. Here on YouTube, you managed to get the channel to 100,000 subscribers, so I'm really grateful for that as well. Thank you so much. And I'm going to have a think about some goals that I want to set for next year, and yeah, over the next few days, write them in my notebook. That is the plan. If you have any goals for next year and you're happy to share them, please leave them in the comments below. I think one of mine is to spend a lot of time with my baby niece, who is just the best and the cutest little baby, so I want to spend a lot of time with her next year. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy my last evening here in the cottage and yeah, sit here by the fire. I have finished stripping the bed. It's now time to pack away all my things back into the van and say goodbye to this amazing cottage.